Today we are doing one of our first Ask Me Anything MAA, and yeah, and you can ask any questions to me about philosophy or speculative fiction or fantasy, fairy tales, moral essays, and so on. And so for the sake of the first beginning, I'm just trying to come up with questions that I think someone will get to ask me, and so on. And we will see about if folks get interested, and hopefully I will start a series where we can schedule a time and you can just jump in and ask any question you like. So let's begin. So the first question comes from Alfred, and he says, "Hi, Alexander. It was a long time ago. What are your thoughts on living the good life and life according to virtue, and do you think that yourself are living to your fullest extent?" What virtue are we talking about? If we are talking about the Greek virtue, or are we talking about virtue in what sense? Because if we are talking about virtue in the sense of Greek philosophy, and we got these people like Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, or Epictetus. Epictetus. I don't know if he actually uses the word virtue, but probably he does. But I think that Epictetus' virtue is like, you gotta control your inner feelings, and if someone punches you in the face, does that mean that you're going to punch back? I mean, depends, right? If you can control your virtue, so yeah, maybe you should go to them and speak. Hey, you can punch me in the face, but what I feel afterwards and how I form my judgment, right? That's up to me. But you probably comes from Aristotle, and says that, where he says somewhere in the Nicomachean Ethics that if you are angry, and if you are angry to the right person, to the right circumstances, then yeah, probably you should punch him back in the face. Or if you don't want to do the exact same thing, you probably should do something against it, right? Do you think that you live to your life to the full extent? I think that, yeah, speaking of these virtues, right? Or what the Greeks call agate, you can go up and look it up. Like Aristotle talks about it, probably Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, probably he writes in Greek, but I don't know if he uses the word virtue. But and yeah, Plato also, and if you go all the way to even Diogenes, he uses the word virtue in his letters. Probably not just Diogenes, but like, I want to change the words Diogenes to the Cynic philosopher, so it compasses more than he as a cynic. So I think that I try to do some good things towards those that I love, those things that I think you know are my friends, and so on. And I can't say much about that before testing things out. Um, next question. Um, what are the best work that you have read, and what are the things you know focuses on in these works? So I am in my 22 age right now, and I think that one work that have I don't probably use the word impacted me the most, but if you want to use the word sort of because I'm an eclectic, and yeah, I'm sure later going to post a video about what that means. But basically, I'm just pick things from everywhere and bake it into a pizza, or something like that. But I would probably say Marcus Aurelius. He got some interesting things to say to himself, which I found oftentimes useful. Right? He has this notion that every morning you wake up, you're going run into stupid folks, or stupid people, and yeah, and that's something that you should be ready, I guess. The next question. So she asked, is it any philosopher that you wish to spend more time on, and if that is, and who would it be? I would say that given the time I have, because I work a full-time job, trying to earn some gold to be able to do something that I want in the future, right? But I would probably say, if you frame the question and ask if I could pick, given the time I have, I will probably go on and read some Plato, because anyone can read Plato, right? The dialogues are structured in that way. I would, and his work called The Symposium, that deals with love, and yeah, talks about it in different forms by different people. We have this comical guy called Aristophanes, and yeah, we also got some others. I'll probably say that. Yeah. Oh, I should mention that I really want to get into some more let's see right here, like Aristotle, because Aristotle he talks about many things, and yeah, and probably his white rhetoric, which deals with different kinds of rhetorical forms. Yeah. So if you can pick if you can take a book to a deserted island and spend 1 week there, which book would it be and why? I would probably bring. Oh, that's a funny question. I would probably bring, some Epictetus. Yeah. I get the discourses of Epictetus into my bag, and I surely also want to get some Diogenes, or those Cynic philosophers, maybe specifically Diogenes, which has some cool stuff to say. and maybe some, not just philosophy, right? I might also get some, the Odyssey, where Homer essentially lets this guy Odysseus, and describes his long voyage home, and deals with kinds of human emotions, suffering as an example, and we can talk about what does it cause when you give into extensive pleasure. So those kind of things, and yeah. Next question. What would you define friendship? And are there some people in your life that you would go to them and say, hey buddy, you are my friend? So I would say that I just walked with my friend Simon this afternoon, and we met in the same company we were working and so on, and we started to meet each other, and we talked about some human emotions in the beginning. I had some difficulties getting recently started in philosophy, or actually I started much earlier, but he was the guy that came to me, and we talked about those sort of difficulties which I kinda hadn't strength to get back and might say accept, and he was the guy that came to me and said, hey buddy, that's not actually the thing that the world works, and you got things to do, and here are some things, go and read that that literature, children literature by Narnia by C.S. Lewis, if you want to know how it's like to be a child again, or you can deal with different stuff and so on, and since that we became friends. We did some and we usually do some weekend walks, and talk about things that we have in our mind, or something that we sort of want to talk about, and see what each other thinks about it. But I think that each person really wants to know what they will want from their friendship, because there exist people that want friends that are only to their advantage, right? If you can get as much benefits as possible from him, and you can talk about hey, it's okay, right? Yeah I don't give a fuck if it's okay or not, as that's your life, and if it's okay to have that friendship, go ahead, but you always need to know what is it that you're getting from that guy. And sometimes when you think you two are friends, right, and it comes to a stage where you goes up and asks like, oh, do you want to do this stuff in the weekend, and that when whoever it is says, oh, I don't know you that much, so it can come as a hey buddy, wake up, you really need to understand, well, what the hell is going on between you know, you too, in terms of friendship. So yeah, think that you really need to define friendship from the, you know, other person's view also. You know, Aristotle talks about it in the Nicomachean Ethics in book 8-9. You know that 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 there are, you know, four kinds of friendship, and yeah, and yeah, that's about it. Do you want to study any language in, you know, in the time to come? I have heard about, you know, Latin and Greek being the most dominant languages to study in order to, you know, study classic literature and understand it differently. Yeah, you know, I don't know about it. I mean, I got you know, two books over here. Uh, One called Greek Grammar by Smith, but I haven't went to, you know, any classes. But yeah, I will see if, you know, that's opportunity represents itself in my country, Sweden, and yeah. So unfortunately, I can't say much about it, but if you want to, you know, learn Greek, you probably should, you know, Google it and just take some classes, right? If you know, are living in UK or America, I mean, that's great. There is probably, you know, classes that are offering it, and yeah, you know, the philosophy and YouTube channel Gregory Saller, he talks about, you know, his learning of language, and he got a whole bunch of videos about it, that deals with you know, his journey to learning those, you know, specifically those languages. But yeah, one of the things he says is that, you know, if you can read it, the original text, you know, your world just opens up much more. So I think that's where you're coming from. Is there something that you want to do or journey to in the, you know, time to come? Maybe somewhere in Europe, or yeah, just anywhere. Yeah, I mean, I travel to, yeah, maybe I should, you know, do some, you know, Alexander earlier history, you know, adventure, and, you know, put that as a series. But to put it short, I traveled in to, yeah, Greece, Italy, you know, and also spend, you know, some month in Thailand and Vietnam, but but I don't plan to maybe do it anymore, or I might do. I haven't decided yet, but my, you know, main goal is to probably, you know, get into some literature, and, you know, get to understand human emotions, and so on and so stuff. So I don't know about that. I mean, maybe I will travel, but I don't think, you know, it will be this year. Yeah. But you know, Rome. If you travel to Italy, there's probably, you know, Pompeii. It's really interesting to, you know, get to see the, you know, how they lived and houses, you know. But mostly probably, you know, those those roles that still gets preserved and ciphered into text that we can read today. Next question is, how do Stoic philosophers still deal with love, and what do they say about if the ones that you love either dies or doesn't want to have something to do with you. I mean, the Stoic philosophers. I'm thinking of Epictetus, right? If you think that you form your own view about things, as far as what you mentioned, love and so on, you probably should be realistic about that. And if you let's say that what you think is love, ask a question, and like, if you think what is love, and you're sure about that the person feels the same about you, right? Or the same towards you, you should probably this is strictly speaking Epictetus view. You should probably plan to how to deal if you are going to lose the one that you love, or because also things can happen in between, and so when it happens, you won't cry or wail, another word he uses in the English translation, by I think by Oxford edition. So and if you want to deal with those and at the same time be somehow happy about your life, right? You probably should seek into what you think about it, and as things happen, you can also adopt a more let's say Seneca view, where he says that if the ones that you love, he talks about his friend instead of lover, but it's saying that you should put grief aside, and that is because that guy, you had your time with the guy, and you did some good stuff in your life, and he then essentially goes into that if a person dies, I mean, you should know that beforehand, so when he lives, right, you are doing stuff and and etc with him, so when he dies you won't be grieving and essentially and so on, because if that person dies and you had a great life, be grateful for that person that lived and what you got to know, but then we also have those persons that says, oh Alfred or John, I don't want to be with you anymore because you are a SOB and you're just not listening to me, you know. Depends on what. If you are not listening to her because he wants things to done only and always in her way, and try to talk her out about it. I guess that where that you're coming from too, and try to come to try to test things and see if that works out for you. Next question. Do you know about the Cynic philosophers, and why is that you haven't, or do you have any video produced on it? No, I don't. Because as I said, I work a 100% job. But given the opportunity, and time, and I would probably do some videos about it. But I think I'm still in the somehow learning period, and yeah. But that's a good question, and I will see what I will do in the years to come. She says, do you like pizza or mashed potatoes, or do you like spaghetti and lasagna? I like more spaghetti, because those are the kind of classics, and which I loved since a long time ago, and so from the start, right? Is there any works in philosophy that you want to give advice to persons which begin in that, and what should that be? I have read about Odyssey, but I don't think that is enough philosophical enough. I mean, it depends on what you mean by philosophical. Do you mean philosophical in the literature sense, like literature being those good stuff that deals with mostly human emotions that you if you understand it, you can get back to it any way you like, and reread it, or I think that's where you're coming from, right? By defining those terms, I would say. Then I would say go and have a look on. Oh, what are those words called? Those Greek tragedies. Those represents somehow cultural, moral stuff, but you probably can get out of them stuff that are that deals with those philosophical questions that you possess, right? But if you want to, but if you're coming from a question, and you want to seriously study philosophy, why not start with Plato? Plato in the Republic got a lot of things to say about human necessary things like appetites. Maybe self-interest, and good quality, bad quality, virtue, and the evil, and he brings up a lot of stuff that you know probably can start with him, and yeah, so on. So go have a look at them. Next question. Is there any work that you would like to explore more of, and those work that I'm talking about, are those work that you think that you want to begin with, and you know, and then what are your focuses on? I don't think I do understand the question as much, but if you're asking about what I like to read or look at when reading, philosophical works, I tend to look at what the author gets to say, right? And try to identify what hell he's talking about. For example, but the works I want to explore is probably I want to get to read Marcus Tullius Cicero one day. His philosophical works, his I think in his work called Tusculum Disputation, he's dealing with grief because he lost his daughter, and yeah, it would be interesting to see what he got to say. So that's an example. Do you plan to do more videos in the future to come, and when will that be? As I said, I'm still in a learning period, and I bought some Greek grammar, and I kind of want to study the languages, but yeah, still I'm reading the English translation of things and stuff. So whenever I think I can provide the quality, right, comes from Latin word, and from Cicero, and yeah, and I will see when I get time to put in the schedule. Probably do some Greek, Latin philosophers, and yeah. Is there something that you wished you have read in your earlier years, which you have somehow missed and you are reading now? Oh, I think that I didn't read a lot of books when I was let's say 16 and below. I don't know. It's and it was sort of a rough start for me. But yeah, I'm reading stuff. Try to read things I find I can get something out of it. By interest. Some works that I got interested in, or something I like to take a self-indulgence in. Yeah. But I would probably say probably Odyssey. I can sort of think because here's a bit of digression, because in my early years I had some friends, and some were good and some less good, just want to come and pinch you in the face and joke around and never get to some friendship stuff that is somehow lasting. I would probably read some Aristotle, the Nicomachean Ethics, right? And I probably won't understand a shit about it, but if I just read the chapter 8, 9, I would probably understand a bit about it, and it would probably get me thinking about what are friendship actually, what are the friends I want and don't want? If I sort of want to think what words I would be using in that age, right? Um, and another work is probably, I will say, some probably some Greek tragedy. I would delve into. Um, those got a lot of things to say about, specifically suffering, and people are, grieving all the way on and so on, and yeah, not just about grieving, right, but about joy, but they, put in the context which they, seem fit in their time and perspective. So I would say probably this, right? But I am reading those now, and yeah, I cannot, sort of take up things that I didn't, put any attention at all when I was young. But yeah. So next question. Let's see. Have you read any of these skeptic philosophers, and what do you think about the term that they are using called ataraxia, which is somehow a word for happiness? Oh, I don't know about the skeptic philosopher school, so I won't answer about it. But let's see if I ever get into that. The Fortuna, if the if the Fortuna lets me. Yeah. So have you any defining notion about not just friendship, but about parents, and how to deal if the parents that you're living with are somehow not your ideal? I mean, depends. I mean, if you mean ideal by saying that you're looking at other parents that you think serves as a better model for you, right? Seneca talks about it's the importance of having a role model, so you can act in a different way in different situations. If you mean in that sense, yeah, I mean, they are your parents. Try to talk to them, and if they if they deal with you, that's good. If they don't, I don't probably no. I mean, probably you should read more text, which give you a wider picture of what you actually can do in the age that you are in. If you are below 18 or over, you probably should yeah, still talk to them, but yeah, see what you can do things with them, and the things that don't get as much tends to get sour all the time. Probably should not do these things with them, or yeah, something like that. I see that I see from your earlier videos that you got some books in shelves, and can I ask, what are these books? Are these only philosophical? No. I try to read works from not just philosophy, right? I mentioned earlier that I read some fantasy called the Witcher series, that I got middle of it, and yeah, find it kind of exciting to read, and yeah, but I certainly read some Tolkien also, and some speculative fiction. Philip K. Dick got many interesting books that are there for you to just pick up and see what he has got to say there. Let's see here. Oh, this is probably going to be the last question. If you want to do something in your life and you got ample resources for it, what would it be and why? Given that you mentioned that you work full-time job, I would probably say if I could choose or pick what I want, I would choose to go to study some Latin or Greek, and then come back, but and reread those works that I've read, and try to pick up some terms mentioned here and there, and somehow put them together, and try to get to know also other people's doing those that I'm interested in. I would say. So here.